Just moments earlier, everything seemed picture perfect. Trump was in his element, confident, smiling, soaking up the cheers like a man who owned the room. Supporters waved signs, phones were up, flashes popping every few seconds. He cracked a quick joke with the crowd, even gave a thumbs up to someone shouting from the back. It felt like every other rally moment, full of energy, full of control. His security detail stood at their usual posts, eyes scanning the room. The air buzzed with a kind of anticipation only Trump events have. Loud, unpredictable, alive. He leaned toward the mic, ready to take another question, when something shifted. A faint crackle came through the earpieces of nearby officers. One guard's expression changed. Quick, subtle, but noticeable. Another moved slightly closer to the stage, hand brushing his radio. Nobody in the audience picked up on it. Not yet. Trump kept talking, waving, unaware of the silent ripple moving toward him. It was the calm before a storm that not even his team could see coming. Because in just a few seconds, everything was about to change. It happened in an instant. 1 second, Trump was answering a question with that familiar grin. The next, the atmosphere snapped. 2 uniformed officers began moving through the crowd, their eyes locked on him. The chatter faded. Even the cameras seemed to slow down, tracking every step. Trump paused mid-sentence, sensing the shift. His smile flickered. He glanced toward his staff, confusion flashing in his eyes. "What's going on?" he asked, his tone sharp but controlled. No one answered. His team exchanged quick, uneasy looks as the officers approached the stage. Radios buzzed, murmurs rippled through the audience. Then, without warning, one officer stepped forward, firm, direct, and reached for the phone in Trump's hand. For half a heartbeat, the world froze. Trump's hand tightened, his posture stiffened, and the crowd went dead silent. No one knew what they were seeing. Was it part of security protocol? Or something much bigger? Something personal? The tension was suffocating. Every camera zoomed in. And as Trump stared down the officer, disbelief written across his face, one thought ran through everyone's mind. This wasn't supposed to happen. And then it happened. The officer's hand made contact, firm, deliberate, and in one smooth motion, Trump's phone was gone. The gasp that followed was instant. Cameras flashed, reporters shouting over each other. The crowd froze in disbelief. Trump's eyes widened. For a split second, he didn't move. Then his expression hardened. His voice cut through the noise like a blade. "Give it back." The words echoed through the hall. Sharp, furious, unfiltered. You could feel the power in that moment, the shock, the defiance, the anger. His aides rushed closer, whispering, "It's okay, sir, it's just a procedure." But Trump wasn't buying it. He pointed straight at the officer. "That's my phone. What do you think you're doing?" The crowd erupted. Supporters shouted in disbelief, some yelling for the officer to back off. Others raised their phones higher, desperate to capture the chaos. The officer stayed calm, but his hands trembled slightly. He muttered something about security protocol, but no one was listening anymore. Not the crowd, not Trump, not the world watching live. In that single moment, everything about the event changed. The focus, the energy, the control, gone. All that remained was the image of a former president staring down law enforcement, demanding what was his. And it wouldn't end there, because Trump wasn't backing down. The silence didn't last long. Within seconds, the room exploded into noise, shouts, flashing lights, reporters yelling over each other. It was chaos, raw and unfiltered. Trump's team surged forward, half ready to intervene, half frozen in disbelief. His lead security agent tried to reason with the officers, voice low but urgent. "This is a mistake. Give it back." But the officers didn't move. They stood firm, eyes straight ahead, repeating the same line, "It's procedure, sir." Trump's jaw tightened. His face was red now, his hands still outstretched where the phone used to be. "Procedure?" He snapped, "You don't take the president's phone." The crowd gasped. Someone in the back shouted, "That's not right." Another voice yelled, "Give it back," and the chant spread like fire. Supporters pressed closer, their voices rising with anger and disbelief. Trump's security team formed a wall around him, half ready to intervene, half frozen in disbelief. Cameras zoomed in, capturing every twitch, every glare, every second of the standoff.
You could see the tension in the officers' eyes, the uncertainty of men who knew this clip was already making history. Trump stepped forward, straightened his tie, and glared at them. "Unbelievable," he muttered, the word dripping with anger and control. The room was still roaring, but in that moment, he had the spotlight again. And even without the phone in his hand, he was the one holding power. It didn't take hours. It didn't even take minutes. Within seconds, the moment hit the internet and everything exploded. Clips of Trump's furious "give it back" flooded social media. Some slowed the footage down frame by frame, others looped it endlessly, zooming in on his expression, analyzing every word, every twitch. Pro-Trump pages went into overdrive, calling it an act of disrespect, a setup, even a warning shot. One supporter posted, "You don't snatch the president's phone ever." It racked up millions of views in hours. Meanwhile, critics wasted no time. Memes, reaction clips, late-night jokes, it was everywhere. One viral edit played dramatic music over the footage, freezing on Trump's glare with the caption, "When they touch your phone without permission." Cable networks looped the footage nonstop, each giving it their own spin. Some framed it as a breach of protocol, others called it Trump's meltdown. But no matter the angle, one thing was certain. Everyone was watching. The internet had turned a 10-second standoff into a full-blown political storm. And while supporters raged and critics laughed, one question echoed through every comment section. Why did they take Trump's phone? Because if it really was just procedure, why did it feel so personal? To the crowd, it looked like a moment of confusion. To millions watching online, it felt like something much deeper. A power move caught on camera. Because this wasn't just about a phone. For Trump, that device has always been more than a piece of tech. It's his voice, his weapon, his connection to millions of followers. Taking it away, even for a few seconds, felt like stripping away his control. Political analysts jumped in almost immediately. Some called it symbolic, a clash between authority and defiance, a public test of power. Others whispered that it might have been a calculated message, a reminder that even Trump could be checked. But to his supporters, it was something else. They saw a man being humiliated, a leader disrespected in front of the world. One commentator said it best, "You can take his phone, but you can't take his voice." That line alone lit up the internet. Because deep down, this moment wasn't about what was taken, it was about what it represented. Trump standing there, jaw tight, demanding what's his, became the image of resistance all over again. And whether you love him or hate him, you couldn't look away. The scene told its own story, one of power, pride, and the constant tug of war between Trump and the institutions around him. But this wasn't the climax. Not yet. Because while the cameras caught the confrontation, behind the scenes, something even bigger was already starting to move. When the footage hit mainstream news, the reaction split instantly. Half outrage, half fascination. But beneath the surface, something deeper was happening. Because this wasn't just a man getting his phone taken, it was a battle of control. In politics, perception is power, and for Trump, perception has always been his greatest weapon. That phone symbolized more than connection, it was dominance. His ability to set the narrative, to break news before networks even caught up. So when it was taken, even briefly, it hit him where it hurt most, his voice. Psychologists who study leadership moments like this said Trump's reaction revealed a flash of something rare, vulnerability. Just for a second, the unshakable confidence cracked. But then, almost instantly, the mask was back. The voice got louder, the gestures sharper. It was classic Trump. Take the hit, twist it, and turn it into fuel. By that evening, his team had already flipped the story. "They're scared of his influence," one advisor said. And that line, "scared of his influence," became the rallying cry across social media. Critics said it showed his paranoia, supporters said it proved his strength. Either way, it worked. Because once again, Trump had taken a moment that should have weakened him and turned it into an image of defiance. And that's the thing about Trump. Every confrontation, every headline, every so-called loss somehow becomes the stage for his next move. So buckle up, because this story isn't over. Not even close. Make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because when Trump fires back, you'll want to see it first. The next chapter could change everything.